When you have a busy day ahead, try Batiste Dry Shampoo. It helps to support healthy hair by giving you the power to wash your hair less, reducing damage caused by washing and saving you time to do whatever you need to do. Plus, Batiste offers a wide range of products with amazing, long-lasting fragrances to match any mood. Check out the new Batiste Texturizing Dry Shampoo, which adds grip and texture by removing excess oil. Refresh with the best. Buy Batiste Dry Shampoo in store or online at your nearest retailer.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I have your host, JoAnn Crohn, and we are here with a No Guilt Mom win, which I know that you're going to find so inspiring, because if you have a kid who has special needs and you struggled hard during the pandemic because those services weren't available, and then getting back in it after the pandemic was so hard to still find help, Victoria knows exactly what you're going through. And she has a story of hope that I hope will inspire you and will give you some little ideas on where you can look or where you might be able to look for family members who are going through this thing right now. So welcome, Victoria. I'm so excited to have you here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I'm also excited to see your face again because you joined us for the No Guilt Mom VIP retreat. And I actually got to meet you in person, which is so rare online. So it's just some extra excitement for this interview.
Oh, I know. It was wonderful. I'm still thinking about it.
But let's get into your story. So can you tell us a little bit about your son and what you went through during the pandemic with him?
We got him actually in May of 2018 after my sister-in-law, and my husband's adopted sister, she ended up losing custody of James. And he was just shy of a year old at that point. So when we got him, he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't walk, he cried a lot, he would suck on his fingers and kind of just rock back and forth. Like he had missed his entire first year of like everything, all those milestones that would be being met throughout that year. So we ended up going through the adoption process, and fast forward to 2019, we actually adopted him on September 13th of that year. And we started services then. And obviously 19 to 20 is not too far away. So we had him in services up until he was just about 3 years old.
Can you explain a little bit about what he needed services for?
Yeah, so we ended up with services, DDD services. Yeah. They brought in a speech therapist, an occupational therapist. We had those services where we would have somebody come into our home like once a week. But then the pandemic happened. And because he had just turned 3, or he was just about to turn 3, his services were already getting ready to stop through DDD. We would have had to work on getting, going through other services. But because of the pandemic, it was just near impossible. And it really wasn't until last year, we actually had him go stay with some friends of ours he was with them for almost 6 months. Up until that point, my husband and I had not had a break. We had no respite services. We had no family that was really able to care for him. My father-in-law, he has a prosthetic leg, so he can't chase after him. And he's very rambunctious all day, every day. He's the Energizer bunny that never stops going. And I love him to death.
He requires a lot of care too. Like, what are some of the things that you've seen your son doing that you're like, oh my gosh?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So really how he ended up at my friend's to begin with was that was the straw that broke the camel's back. He ended up climbing our boat onto our roof and was trying to fit himself down the chimney. And he had convinced both of his siblings to try and go with him. And it was my daughter's birthday. She had just turned 11, I think it was, or 12. And we were calling her dad, and this all happened in like that. There was no catching it. I was home by myself. We were just trying to call her dad. I thought the kids were, relatively okay for a moment. Next thing I hear, pitter patter on the roof. I was like, why does it sound like there's feet on my roof? And that's when we found them. And that's when I had to call my friend. And I said, I really, really need help. Because I don't like to ask for help, but I was in dire need at that point. I could not keep up. I was drowning.
Because something that you described at the retreat was that you also felt a lot of guilt because of the attention that it took also from your other kids.
Yeah, and that's very difficult. In fact, because he's now, fast forward, we're going to be getting those services, but all of my kids are going to be put in counseling to help understand and to go through and to feel what they feel, because it's been a lot on everybody. Even my husband and I are going to have to do it too, just to kind of let it all out.
What was the change that led you from having struggle every day to finally now being able to get services?
Oh gosh, I think it was my husband's retirement. I think he was home for like 3 weeks, and I think he finally understood. He was like, "Oh my gosh, how have you been doing this, for so long?" Because I haven't worked since the end of 2020 when I resigned from my job because I had all 5 of them. And I was like, there's no way I can work and do this at the same time. It's insanity. And I loved my job. And so that was a little bit rough, leaving something you actually like doing. And then all of a sudden you're home 24/7. The reason why I got the job was because I needed something outside of the home.
And so your husband saw the need for it. And then you also came to the retreat too. And what happened at the retreat?
Absolutely. In fact, it just kind of fired me up when I got home. I was like, we need to call. We need to figure out what's going on. And they're looking at 35 to 40 hours a week of services for him. And it's going to be one person.
Okay. So you went from having nobody coming in, from you doing it all by yourself, to now 35 to 40 hours a week of someone else coming in to help you?
Yeah. And respite care on top of that once we figure out that portion of it. But yes.
And for those people who don't know what respite care is, can you describe what respite care is?
Yeah. So basically, it's somebody that's trained to take care of your child that for whatever their autism, whatever their needs are. And so you get a little bit of a break when you need it. We don't know how much respite care that we do qualify for, but even just once a month would be amazing for our family.
So having all this lined up now, Victoria, how are you doing now that you know that you're going to get help?
I think I'm doing so much better. Honestly, I just had my husband clean our entire bedroom for me in the first time in months because I was so depressed and so down. I was just so focused on just how do we get through, it just couldn't be the rest of his life or the rest, of our life of trying to figure out how to do everything by ourselves. And now that I know that help is coming, I just feel like this big sense of release and relief and not having so much dread.
That is amazing to hear. And I'm so, so happy to hear it. And you've been part of our community for a number of years now and in Balance VIP. And I see you getting so much support in there from everybody who was at the retreat and just cheering you on as well.
Oh, I just love these women to death. I'm like, you guys are amazing. And, I never thought that I would need something like that, but it's so true. Like, even though they're not right here, that support means everything to me. And I never thought that I would need that much support because I've always relied on what I have around me. And sometimes it's just not enough. And the love I feel from these women, and it makes a huge difference in my life, really.
I'm so happy that you are here and with us in Balance and part of the No Guilt Mom community. And I know that your story is going to provide hope for other moms out there who are right now struggling and trying to do it all, especially if they have a child with special needs. Just to go out, find the help is out there, and also to reach out for the support of other people. Because like you said, support, like you never realize how much you need it until you get it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is the thing that I was missing all along.
I just feel like I'm no longer carrying it all by myself. Like I feel like it's not all my burden to carry. And that's very important to me. And it helps a lot.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear. Well, I will talk to you very soon. And thank you so much.
Are you looking for something to listen to with your whole family? Then check out 6 Minutes, produced and created by Gen Z Media. With over 200 twisty, cliffhanger-filled episodes, 6 Minutes tells the story of 11-year-old Holiday who was pulled from the icy waters with no memory of who she is or where she came from.
3 years ago, Brinley Pasternak helped the Anders family uncover the truth about Holiday's past. Now she'll need them to help her find the truth about hers. In 6 Minutes Out of Time, the long-awaited sequel, Cyrus Anders is found unconscious near the mysterious Elixir Academy in Florida, and Brinley learns the school may have a shocking connection to her missing mother.
Dive in now and get the most downloaded family audio adventure in history. Follow 6 Minutes wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free with the GZM family subscription.